What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Life of Pi with me, your host, Young. Tonight, with episode 73, we have our recap of episode 3 of season 4 of What We Do in the Shadows. So, this is the grand opening. It's the opening of Naja's nightclub, and it's directed by the great Kyle Newacek. A lot of you guys will recognize his name from Workaholics and movies like Game Over, Man, a couple other things he's done. Hilarious guy, great director, and a lot more exciting stuff to come from him. I have no doubt in my mind. So, again, I've been gone for a little while, just been enjoying summer because in Ohio, our summer goes very quick and the weather turns very quick. So I've spent a lot of time doing stuff with friends and family. But you know what? We're back. We're back at it. And away we go. So, our opening scene, we have Naja looking absolutely stunning, by the way. She's in her little red get up, couple little weird hats on the top of her head, and she's opening her nightclub at the Vampire Council. So we have all these vampires lined up outside. Everyone's excited. You hear music bumping and thumping, and she's talking to people online like, "Oh, this celebrity's here, this person's here," and she's talking about how she's got like the biggest act, the biggest surprise in the world coming with Richie Suck, who is a vampire rapper. The fact they came up with this idea is freaking hilarious. You have a vampire rapper. I just think that's absolutely genius. It's hilarious. And I wrote down the guy's name. I'm hoping I don't butcher it. Efon Crockett. He's been in a bunch of stuff. You look up his name. Funny dude. He's again. I recognize him from much stuff. I just can't think off the top of my head. But they do like show like pictures of him like dressed as like a vampire rapping, and they have like album covers for him and like album cover art and names of his songs, and like Naja's like telling you the names of his songs. She's like rapping a couple of them. It's freaking, the whole concept is just freaking hilarious. So he's like the big name guest for the opening of her club. So everyone's excited. So of course she's walking down the steps and she's like, "Yo," this is my club. This is my club. You know, like anybody would for their club opening. And so she basically tells one of the rates, make them wait, and then make them wait a little bit longer. Show's ready. She goes, "Who's ready for Richie Suck?" Everyone's like, "Yeah." She goes, "All right, keep waiting." And everyone's just getting pissed. And then she walks into the club, and like Nandor's standing there at the table looking like just absolutely freaking depressed as all get out. And she's like, "Yo, why?" She's like, "Nandor, why are you at my club looking all depressed?" And like, first of all, walking into the club looks freaking cool. We have like a bunch of like side table rooms and stuff, like a bunch of like neons, and they have like a sound stage and a cool looking bar. It's all lit up. The club looks phenomenal. So whoever did the set decorating for this, freaking knocked it out of the park. Also, I did hear today on a random podcast that What We Do in the Shadows is actually nominated for, I think, for Best Comedy on TV, which I think is also freaking awesome because the show is so funny. It's so good. So congrats to those guys. Hope you guys win. And yeah. So back to Nandor. Yeah, he's at the club. He's standing there looking all sad and depressed. And Naja's like, what's wrong with you? He goes, "Oh, I think my wife's too perfect." And this, then he goes, "I need to change some stuff about myself." She goes, "Okay, well, that's great. Can you like go stand in the corner and not look depressed for open the doors? You're going to kill it. The vibe for everybody." She's like, "I got the freaking blood sprinklers ready to go." And Richie Suck, "And you're going to make this look really bad." He goes, "Okay." So he heads home, and so Nandor leaves, and then the guy that's the character they give her, they get a phone call that Richie Suck has canceled and that he doesn't want to do the show anymore. So we flip over to his house and we see that he lives in an old smokestack. And that is where we meet Richie Suck kind of really for the first time, and his familiar, who is Dr. Tom, played by Fred Armisen. That's his name. Fred Armisen from SNL. You guys recognize him from that. He does a great job in this role. And basically, Dr. Tom is like, told him, he's like, "You're not doing any more music. The music industry is too much for you. You're not going to do it anymore." They try to give him blood, like fresh virgin blood, which is supposed to be the best. He's like, yeah, okay. And Dr. Tom's like, no, he's not doing it. No, he's not doing it. So Naja and the guide are getting pissed, and they get into it with him. And then we cut over to Baby Colin Robinson starting his own YouTube channel. Because what else would you do? So it's very funny. And I'm actually on YouTube right now doing this. And it's like, basically, he's like, hey guys, look, I have some Lego sets, and they're mixed with like Star Wars and like Stranger Things and a couple other sets and everything. So he's mixing and matching stuff. And he's talking about how he's got like 2 subscribers. And basically, like Laszlo and Guillermo get into it because Laszlo doesn't want Baby Colin Robinson to be boring and just like, he's like, this is boring. He's a kid. He's growing really fast, but he's boring. He's not doing anything. He's just a boring kid. Guillermo's like, he's a kid. He's playing with Legos. This is what they do. And as we know, that's what kids do. They play with freaking Legos, you know? And so Laszlo's like, no, I'm not having it. And so Laszlo takes Baby Colin Robinson out to like an art gallery and lowers him like down in this art gallery to steal a piece of art to give some excitement and adventure into his life. And of course, Laszlo yells bat. He just kind of floats down because Baby Colin Robinson isn't a bat, as we know. He's an energy vampire. And so he lowers him down. He's shown, he's like, oh, you do this, and you set up, and he goes, the smoke thing shows you where the lasers are at, so set off the alarms. The whole time, Baby Colin Robinson is just trying to talk to him about his Lego set. He's a kid. Kids don't understand that kind of stuff. They just want to talk about what they want to talk about. That's what kids do, you know? And so finally, Laszlo gets frustrated. He's like, listen, you don't got to say mother effing, like, and you know what, before everything to start a sentence. And so Baby Colin Robinson gets upset. He's like, okay, I'm sorry. And so, of course, Nandor gets upset with him and apologizes. And then Baby Colin Robinson goes, starts to say, well, this is what he's going to say. And then he just walks right through the laser beams. All the lights are going off and everything's just going absolutely freaking haywire. And then, of course, they take off. And then we have this scene. Like, the next scene is like, Nandor is at home with the genie with his wishes. And the genie's like, okay, what wish do you want now? And Nandor's basically like, I want a bigger penis. I want the biggest penis in the world. But Guillermo's telling me, he goes, look, every time you make a wish, it backfires because there's a little loophole that he finds. He goes, you need to write this stuff down and be very, very specific. So luckily Guillermo's there. He's like the right-hand man, the servant, the familiar, whatever you want to call it. And so like, we have these scenes just like flipping back and forth of like them talking about all the penis stuff. And it just keeps going and going and going. And it gets so ridiculous. And in the meantime, we flip back over. Naja and the guy are still arguing with Tom and Richie Suck. And finally, they come to an agreement that Richie Suck will perform, but it's going to be for more money. And he's only going to sing his new stuff. And that Tom's 3-piece jazz band is really going to blow the roof off the place. So they finally give up, and Naja's like, well, we're just going to eventually kill him, And so they're both irritated. And they're like, we just want to get him to the club. And then we flip over. Laszlo has locked Baby Colin Robinson in a dumpster. It says he can't come out until he kills 6 rats. He needs some adventure in his life. So he lifts the lid. What is Baby Colin Robinson doing? Sitting in the dumpster, covered with like 6 or 7 rats, reading an old like paper bill, whatever they call them, the programs for the plays and musicals and stuff. I don't know. I haven't really done anything like that before. The pay bills, I think is what they're called. He's like telling all the musicals like facts about it and whatever. So he slams the lid back down, rolls his eyes. He's like, oh my God. He goes, Skid likes musicals. It's so boring. And then we can flip back over. Guillermo and Nandor are still talking to the genie about the penis thing. Wants the penis big enough to smash a mouse, but he doesn't want it to be like in the middle of his chin or on his forehead or have 2 penises, like one kind of his arm. Just ridiculous. Like Kyle Luchek, I know he probably had a piece of this writing. It was so damn funny, honestly. And then we flip back over. We have Richie Suck. He's finally at the club. He's there. He looks all depressed as hell. He's like, Tom likes his jazz band more than me, and the jazz band's playing, and they are boring. The crowd is booing. They start chanting, "Richie suck, Richie suck." And of course, all the housemates, they're all like arriving. So they're all at the club to support Naja for her opening night at the club. And then we have more penis stuff real quick. Then Nandor shows up, and then Guillermo's there, and so but everybody's there. Baby Colin Robinson, Laszlo, Naja, the whole gang is there. And so Laszlo eventually comes to terms that baby Colin Robinson is just going to be a boring kid. He's going to like musicals and stuff. And so we get another shot where like the band's still playing and people are still getting angry and chanting and whatnot. And eventually Naja brings out Richie sucks. She tells him, she's like, be yourself. Don't be who Dr. Tom wants you to be. Be who you are. Be a vampire. Be the rapper that everyone knows you are, And so eventually Richie Suck is like, I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna do this and that. And he tells Dr. Tom, basically like fuck off. And then he throws him to the crowd and he gets eaten. It's freaking hilarious. Because like the vampire just like, ah. And then like the band's just like, what do we do? And then Richie Suck's like, I'm not gonna do my old stuff, I'm gonna do all my new stuff, maybe stuff you guys haven't heard before. And they show Naja, she's got this weird look on her face, like, what are you talking about? It's not what we're out here for. And he starts doing this horrific stand-up. Just like when someone bombs in a stand-up club and you see it, imagine that, but it's like times 10. It's just absolutely just terrible. Eventually he gets booed and some vampire dude shoves him off stage and a fight breaks out. And then all of a sudden, like, they can't find baby Colin Robinson, and everyone, and like Laszlo's freaking out, Naja's freaking out because she's getting manhandled by a bunch of random vampires. Eventually, you hear like the jazz band start playing, and you have baby Colin Robinson like up there singing. He's singing all these these old jazzy musical like numbers and stuff. I don't know the song, but I'm sure it's a real song. And so basically, like Naja's like, oh, this is great. He goes, vampires love this kind of crap. It's going to save my club. It's going to be fantastic. So, and right there basically ends the episode right there. So, yeah, and that, like I said, that ends the episode right there. But be sure to subscribe, hit the like button. Really helps me out, helps the channel out. If anybody knows Kyle Newacek, send him my way. I love to get in touch with them. It'd be super awesome to have him on the program. Next week's episode, I have a guest lined up as of now, and we're going to be talking about episode 4, which is the night market. And honestly, guys, this is one of my favorite episodes they've ever done. I think it is just flipping hilarious. So I'm hoping my good buddy Will be able to join me for that. As of right now, he is. So that's all we got for you guys tonight. Again, these are going to be shorter, guys, because they're 26-minute episodes, something like that. So I won't ramble around here too much longer. I'll get off here, let you guys get back to what you're doing. So until next time, be good, be safe, and I hope you've enjoyed your slice of pie.